If I look a little rough, it's because I just woke up and it's cold, so I'm wearing my favorite hoodie. Uh, Also, you can hear me because I've got the furnace going right now. But I'm gonna skip the Lich story for right now, and that's because I'm still having memory issues around it. Someone actually suggested in Discord yesterday that it's possible my memories might have been redacted. So I'm going to get a friend of mine to help me out with that, and yeah, we'll see if I can actually remember some of that shit later. I do have a cup of coffee going, and the cat is complaining. Hello, sweetheart. It's because I'm not paying attention to her, and it's first thing in the morning. So, I thought I would tell you about my time on Manitoulin Island. Now, in the Discord, I said Manitou. That's an American island. Manitoulin Island is Canadian island. And, yeah, it's actually a gorgeous place. When you go there, you have to go, I think it's over the Little Current Swing Bridge, which is actually kind of cool, except I got stuck behind a big ass rig when I was going down there. And this actually wasn't an official visit or anything like that. I was going there for the actual, just a straight up research job. And I had to visit a bunch of First Nations communities for a mental health and addictions initiative. And I was doing the research for that. And so what I did was, obviously, went there. Actually, just drove there from Toronto. It was kind of fun. It's a bit of a drive, but it was a good trip. Hey, sweetie. And but when I got onto the island, I started feeling different. Now, the island itself is actually pretty unique. There are no franchises permitted on the island, so it's really funny. Just before, I can't remember if the town's called Little Current. Um, hey, dude. But yeah, I can't remember if the town's called Little Current, but I stopped in there to get like, I don't know, I think it was McDonald's or something like that. And then literally as you cross Little Current Swing Bridge, it's mom and pop shops. It's actually really cool. Even the motels and hotels and stuff like that are they um, they're all independently owned. So yeah, it was actually pretty neat. So the first night, nice and simple. I drove in really late. Stopped off at my hotel, got a room. The hotel is kind of like a little complex thing because this place gets a lot of tourism. Um, and it's like the Odawa people actually live there. So it's got a name in Odawa. It actually has two names, and they both refer to a great spirit. And a Manitou, which the island's sort of named after, is a spirit of the earth kind of thing. So, yeah, I stop off. I get my hotel room. I get a room kind of in the back. I got a nice little suite actually, and yeah, it's kind of funny because the room itself is this nice little suite. I'm brewing a coffee. That's why I keep looking this way. Uh, yes, sweetheart, I am. Complainy cat. Yeah, complainy cat. Want your treats? So yeah, right. Uh, I have fun with that title, and Ken is great, except for the zombies. Yeah. Oh, Jesus Christ. She's got this little toy. She always just knocks it out of her range. But yeah, so I was on Manitoulin Island, stop off the hotel room. I'm in the back, and the hotel room kind of faces this kind of wide open field. And it was actually great because first thing in the morning, the sun would come up and it would just come right into the room and everything. And I'd have my coffee literally watching the sunrise. And the first day, I just went out and did the interviews and everything, and the people were actually great. Uh, First day, I'm there. I'm a brand new guy, just kind of doing the interviews, seeing people in the community and everything. And like they said, "Do you want to have lunch?" Sure, great, awesome. I had hamburger soup. I hadn't had hamburger soup in a long time, which is actually kind of like going back to my childhood. In case you've never had hamburger soup, it's basically canned vegetable soup that you just kind of throw cooked hamburger into, and a couple of other little things like macaroni noodles and stuff. Yeah. Aw, little hairball. She's like, she's a little hairball, big hairball. Oh yeah, it's actually pretty cool. Manitoulin Island's a gorgeous little vacation spot. Ooh, coffee's ready. Gorgeous vacation spot in Lake Superior. But yeah, so I went there, did all of that, and the first night, so the first day went a little bit long. I went to about, I think, 10 o'clock doing the interviews and stuff because a couple of people had to come in late. Yeah, exactly, right? Coffee's ready. And actually, it's pretty much perfect. And let it brew a little bit longer to be a little stronger. But, yeah, so hopefully it doesn't tip over. Don't knock it over, Cleo. First night, I'm heading back, and the island at night is dark, really, really dark. And I figured I'd stop off at a little grocery store that was still open, grab some, supplies and stuff like that, and kind of pick up breakfast, coffee, stuff like that. The hotel room has coffee, but it doesn't have like anything really for breakfast. So I figured I'd pick up something for that. And I get there, I'll buy everything, and I go back to the car, and I kind of see something out of the corner of my eye, and it's just this like shadow thing, but it's not like the shadow people that you see, on YouTube and stuff like that. It's big for one thing. It's fast for another. I look over and I think it had like wings or something, but it kind of reminded me of an owl. If an owl was like 8.5 feet tall, and it just kind of it took off from where I saw it, swooped really low to the ground, and then just kind of whooshed over top of me, and it scared the shit out of me. Because I didn't even like feel it. I could just I could sense it, I could see it, but there was no rustle of wind or anything like that as it went over my head. And obviously, I didn't feel the wind in my hair as it passed over. But yeah, it was fucking strange. So a little shaken, I go back to the hotel room. And did you lose your ball? Cleo lost your ball. Yep. Here. Yeah. Did you lose your ball? Where's your ball? Come on. There. God damn it, cat. Well, she lost the ball on the couch and I can't reach it. So here's right now. You gotta wait until Daddy's done his story. But yeah, so I get back to the hotel room a little bit shaken. And I make a cup of tea and kind of like think about what the fuck I'd seen. And I kind of just chilled for the rest of the evening and then finally fell asleep. The next morning, I go out and I do the rest of the interviews. And actually, the day ended up finishing at about a little after 1 afternoon. And the last interviewee, she's an elder, an Odawa elder, and she actually corrected kind of my etiquette a little bit, because with elders, I give them tobacco. And what I'd been taught originally was to offer them the tobacco and just place it so that they can pick it up if they want it. But she told me amongst the Odawa, you literally give it to them, and you can give it to them like a handshake or something like that. So that was kind of cool. I learned something from her. And she goes, okay, so what are you going to do for the rest of the day? And I told her about the weird swooshy owl man thingamajigger. And she said, oh yeah, no, I've seen that guy too. And I asked her about it. She said, yeah, Yeah. There's a place there called Bridal Veil Falls, and she said that she saw it around there. By the way, Manitoulin Island is fucking huge. It has 3 of its own lakes on the island inside Lake Superior. So that is how huge it is. There's actually a road, and I've got pictures on my old cell phone um, of that actually goes through one of the lakes. And when I say through the lake, I mean like water on either side. It was so fucking cool for 400 or 500 meters, and then you stop off at like little islands. I actually had to stop off and pee on one of them. So, but yeah, it's gorgeous, absolutely fucking gorgeous, but full of what my Maori friends would say mana. Like the whole place just kind of tingles of something, some sort of weird ass energy. And oh, thanks, man. I'm glad you liked it. Yeah, actually, where did I put it? I just recently pulled mine out and put the bow pouch on it again. I was testing out my cheap shot blunts. Because, of course, obviously, we can't really go anywhere unless we're working. And had some fun with them. So, yeah, I'm glad you liked it. Right? That's not COVID, that's dry throat. But, yeah, so I talked to her about it, and she told me she's seen it at Bridal Veil Falls. So I figured I actually had like 3 more days there. So I left my schedule open for any more interviews, any more people who wanted to talk to me. And decided to, right? decided to, zombie virus instead, travel around the island with my cell phone on just in case they needed me. Because nowhere on the island's more than 2 hours away from where I was staying. Because it's a big ass island, but it's, pretty cool. So I decided to drive to Bridal Veil Falls. And that's when I went through the lakes and stuff like that. It was fucking beautiful. It was also like the tail end of winter, so there was snow patches everywhere, and, it was kind of cool. And I get to Bridal Veil Falls, and it's cold, but there's still some trickle and stuff like that. I didn't get any pictures, I don't think. But it's a great place to visit. And I stop off there. And I guess I must have been tired because it was about 3 or 4 in the afternoon when I got there, and I kind of fell asleep in my car. I decided to just kind of close my eyes for a few minutes. I fell asleep in my car, and I wake up and it's fucking dark. So I must have been really tired. And I checked my cell phone. There were no messages, nothing like that. And so, okay. But I got out, still light enough to see the falls. So I took a look. I brought some coffee and stuff like that with me from a local mom and pop shop because, like I said, no Timmy's, no Mickey D's, nothing like that there. And for sure, no Starbucks and stuff. And so I'm drinking this sort of cold coffee. I'm looking at the falls, and I feel something behind me. And so I turn around, there's this thing again. Only it's light enough that I should be able to see it, but I can't really. I just kind of feel this sort of like massive presence. It's like I got a buddy Mander. He's a big guy, fucking ninja dude. He disappears, and he'll like pop up behind you and scare the shit out of you. But it's like that. You just kind of feel him. Well, it felt like he was right behind me. This thing, it felt like it was right in front of me, and it felt like I was talking to like an elephant. Because yeah, I decided to fucking talk to this thing. It didn't respond at all. I'm just kind of staring at this big black thing at jigger. Like I don't even know how to describe it. Didn't move, didn't make a sound, didn't indicate anything. And I kind of got weirded out. Probably like most people would have. Fuck. So I get, hey cheeky, I get really, really close to this thing. Probably about 2 or 3 meters away, so a yard and a half. and I kind of like reach out for it because I don't know what's going on anymore. So I'm deciding I'm going to touch this thing. It's probably like touching a gator, probably not the best idea. Anyways, I reach out to touch it, and whoosh, gone. Okay, basically, not quite like you blink and it's gone, like it's there and then it's not. Instead, it was more like it moved so fast that it felt like it was there and then not, rather than it looked like it was there and not. It's a really bad explanation, but it's the best I got. So yeah, so I turn around and I head back to my car, a little bit shaken up again, and I head back to the hotel, and I can't remember the name of the town that the hotel is in, but it's the main town. It starts with an M, and it's in Odawa. So I suck at saying the name, but it's a gorgeous place. Anyways, I get back to the hotel, and you know, shit, shower and shave, and go to sleep. But at this point, I'm weirded out, but I'm exhausted, so I'm just back to sleep. The next morning, thanks, man. The next morning, I wake up and I get ready, go grab a cup of coffee, and decide to head over to the medical center, which is where I was doing my interviews. And the other lady's there, and she's like pretty much the only one. And she asked if I went to Bridal Veil Falls, and I said yeah, and I saw the thing again. And she goes, okay, tonight I'll come with you. We'll go for a walk, and I'll take you to a place that has the most sightings of this thing. And I even asked her, like, what is it? She goes, it's a Manitou. It's a great spirit. So, yeah, she decided, to take me there. So I stuck around there for a few hours, and then I asked her if anyone needed anything, or can I kind of like do something? Because truthfully, I was getting bored. Uh, and so yeah, she sends me on like a couple of little errands. I had picked up some groceries and dropped them off to some people who were a little too old to go out and about for themselves, and she was going to do this stuff. Um, and so I actually got to meet some really, really interesting Odawa elders. And what was kind of funny was, that a couple of them are chatty. Almost always, elderly people are kind of chatty. Well, thanks, man. I, I try to help out as much as I can, which sometimes comes across as weird because, well, I'm not the most normal guy, as you can probably tell. Uh, yep, yep. I'm from Alberta right now, but yeah, right. But yeah, so I help out a few people, and this one guy, he was asking me, like, so what you doing here and stuff like that, and he was trying to teach me swears in Odawa, and there aren't really swears. They're more like poopy face and stuff like that. Um, and he asked me, what I had done, and I told him about the thing and the Bridal Veil Falls incident and all of that stuff, and that me and the elder were going to go out later that night. And he says, okay, well, I got something for you, because that thing, apparently he had seen it a lot when he was younger, until his grandfather had given him like a charm. Oh yeah, yep. Also, thanks, Jiki. Um, but yeah, so it reaches into why did why do all of these things always end up in like a chest somewhere? Anyways, he reaches up in like the little jewelry box on a chest, and he hands me a bone whistle, and it's an eagle bone, like a leg bone, that was turned into a whistle. And he says, if you ever feel uncomfortable around this thing, blow the whistle and it leaves you alone. I thought that was kind of neat. Uh, my dad had had something like this when he was actually now right around my age. But yeah, so I took it. I thanked him. I even offered him a little bit of tobacco, and he took it. So that was kind of cool. But yeah, so I go back to the center, which we close at like about 5:30, about 5:30, 6 o'clock, somewhere thereabouts. And the elder says, like it's a little too bright, but why don't we go to this path? And it's basically like there's a little walkway from the rec center. Um, so the rec center and the medical center are right next to each other, and then there's like the administration office, which is like another parking lot. But they're all really close. And then there's like a little walkway through a field, little copse of trees, kind of like a little park, but the whole freaking island's a giant park. So, and then there's like a little hillock in there. And so that's where she said we'd see this thing. So the walk didn't take very long. It was about 4 or 5 minutes. And we get to the little hillock, and um, kind of like before, you felt something that wasn't really there. So it felt like it got colder, and it felt like the wind kicked up, but there was no wind. The chill kind of went through your body, but there was no real hair on the back of your neck moment. And yeah, it just felt different. And so this Manitou, I might as well call it, kind of shows up there. And I've got the bone whistle on me, and I'm thinking, okay, well, this is kind of weird. Like, should I do this right now? And the elder actually had seen it and had commented on it, and she knew who it had come from and everything. And she said that the reason that the Manitou had kind of like sort of hassled this guy was he was on the wrong path. Kind of like he was going to be, what would be a good term? Like, he was basically going down the path that would have led him towards badness. I'm trying to think of the word, but it really doesn't. It's not really coming. I guess I need more coffee. But yeah, I guess when he was younger, he was a bit of a shit disturber, and the Manitou would like show up and kind of like try and knock him back on the path. Like respect people and help people and all of that stuff instead of breaking into people's places and stealing their shit. Um, so yeah, uh, but I still had the bone whistle on me, and I was still kind of freaked out. So I was kind of holding it a little bit, like almost like I was ready to blow it. Um, Pro tip: when you blow a bone whistle, don't blow hard into it. Found that out later. But yeah, so this thing manifests, I guess is going to be a good word. It's there. Um, and she starts talking to it in Odawa, and I don't speak a word of Odawa. I have like 4 words of Ojibwa, a little bit of Cree, and then, asking for beer in like 19 languages and telling people to fuck off. Oh, sure. Yeah, no worries. I usually do Saturday or Sunday morning streams for stories like this. Just because, Canada's great, except for the zombies. But yeah, no, I can definitely try. During the week, we work evenings. My fiance. No, it's Monday morning. So yeah, my fiance and I, we work evenings. Um, Sometimes we'll work the weekends too. So yeah, I can definitely try. But yeah, so we're there. This thing kind of shows up, and I'm holding the bone whistle, and I'm feeling really kind of weirded out, but at the same time kind of comforted. And she's talking in Odawa to it, and as she's talking to it, the kind of oppressive feeling of it that, okay, I'm freaked out, I'm not really sure what I should do, um, you know, the feeling that I should blow that whistle kind of decreases. And eventually I actually let the whistle drop back. And she finishes talking to it, and she just kind of gently indicates that I should come over. And I started walking towards this thing, and I swear, as you kind of get closer to it, the big freakiness of it, the 8 foot black owl shape, for whatever better term, kind of melts away. And as I got closer and closer to this thing, I realized that it felt more welcoming. Like the cold and the wind and the dark feeling and everything kind of went away. And it really started to just kind of feel like, not really even an old friend that you needed to go up and see, but kind of like an old relative you hadn't seen in a long time and you weren't quite sure who they were. And believe me, with a French family on one side, that happens a lot. But yeah, I started getting a little bit close to this thing, and it started to feel welcoming. Uh, it said one word. I have no idea what the fuck it said because I couldn't hear it. I could feel it. But after it said that word, I just kind of felt a little bit better, a little bit lighter. Yeah, sort of like a podcast, scary story podcast. And normally it would have a lot more zombies in it, but this one was Manitoulin Island was just cool enough that I wanted to explain it. That and the whole lich thing is still kind of fucking with my head. But yeah, as like after the kind of feeling of welcoming and everything kind of washed over me, I looked back at the elder, and that was kind of it. Like I turned back to where it was, and gone, like absolutely gone. I The night didn't feel lighter or anything like that, but I did, so it was kind of cool. I asked her what had happened, and she said, like, well, you've kind of been welcomed to the island. And I said, what was the word he said? And she goes, even I don't know that. So that was a little bit of a weird part. Too bad I couldn't find out what the hell he said. Maybe he said, zombie, or maybe he said, I don't know, $1 billion is hidden in Gold Coast Cove or something like that. Something, beachcombers wise. But yeah, it was weird. And I still had another 2 fucking days on that island where I just felt better. We had like 2 more interviews. I got to help out a little bit more on the island. And actually, I had 1 full day where I just drove around the island, checked out all the cool shit. And there was, I've probably bought way more touristy stuff than I really needed to, but Manitou Island was kind of awesome. No zombies that I'm aware of, but I mean, honestly, if you had to deal with that thing, and you were on its bad side, like I felt I was for the first little bit, yeah, I don't think there'd be any zombies there either. But yeah, gorgeous place. Like I said, 3 fucking lakes inside an island inside of a lake. Lakeception there. And yeah, but when you go, make sure you're ready for a little bit of weirdness because yeah, that place when you first go, it's like electricity on your skin, static electricity in the air kind of feeling, and it just yeah. But yeah, definitely don't be frightened off by my experience because Canada is great except for the zombies and the occasional scary Manitou. That's about it, guys. Thanks for watching. Catch you on the next one. Ciao.